Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Millennium's Todd and Empire DieStar here in the Xel'Naga Caverns. Todd spawning as the red Protoss player on the south side of the map. Meanwhile, we have DieStar, not faculty, spawning as the purple Terran player, and I know I'm going to mess up that name. So my apologies beforehand. This is game 1 in a series, so I will have plenty of games to plenty of chances and opportunities to mess up faculty and DieStar. So taking a look at the production tab, both players pretty much doing a standard build order, nothing too out of the ordinary. Todd opting to go for a pylon further away from the front door, perhaps to hide his tech later on, and also be able to place some buildings back over here so no units are able to drop in effectively. We should be seeing a supply depot being placed down by DieStar over here on the south side of the map, and this is a very nice position for this supply depot for a number of reasons. In Xel'Naga Caverns, proxy pylon play is pretty standard, or it is not unheard of. So sometimes people will place a pylon right here or a pylon right here in order to warp in two gateways here and here. By placing a supply depot down, if the supply depot was, say, right here, you would actually take up one of the spots where that gateway could possibly go. So if you find yourself getting proxy rushed a lot, if you place down a supply depot in these locations, you will at least stop your opponent from placing down one of those two gateways. Barracks now being constructed in addition to a refinery, and it will just be the standard refinery play as an SCV now makes its way out across the map. Probe now coming in from Todd, so Peppy the probe will be able to sneak up that ramp and gain as much information and as much sight as he really needs to. Back here, Todd now getting up a gateway, should be getting up at Cybernetics Core, and there is that second pylon there, so getting that second pylon, and now he needs to start training up probes. I don't know why he's actually delaying that a little bit, not staying up on top of his macro just quite yet. Another supply depot being placed off to the north side here. Yeah, just the north side there, keeping track of stuff. Probe activating the Xel'Naga Watchtower. Not too much to really talk about during the early portion of this game. Todd, if you don't know the history on Todd, Todd is a former Warcraft 3 player who was part of the Four Kings team, along with, and I still don't know the fourth king. There was Grubby, Creolopus, Todd, and I keep on missing that fourth one. And I know I am a Warcraft 3 shoutcaster as well, but Warcraft 3 just isn't followed nearly as much in America as it is in China. SCB will be able to escape after that Zealot tries to give chase. We see one Stalker now coming in, a factory and a tech lab coming in as well. So we'll see what exactly DieStar trying to do. So a factory and a barrack. So this may be one base play. I do not see a Nexus coming in from either of these players. And oh, Todd hiding a pylon over here, maybe trying to go for a proxy Stargate. Proxy Stargate with Void Rays would be able to deal a lot of damage. And there are a couple Marines, but not enough Marines in order to fight off a Void Ray just quite yet. Oh no, it's going to be a proxy robotics bay. Okay, that I haven't seen in quite some time. So a proxy robotics bay observer will be able to fly in very, very easily. A Stalker and a Zealot activating these Xel'Naga Watchtowers. And still no expansions. We are now 5 minutes into this game. I expect an expansion to be placed down sometime soon, as both players are going to be going for that, going for a more economic style. They're just trying to build a large enough army to fend off any serious attacks if the other person did, say, 4-gate or tried to 3-racks rush. Robotics facility almost done. As soon as that robotics facility is done, I expect an observer to be chrono boosted out of there, head off to the north, and then reveal exactly what I can see already. We can see now a group of Hellions moving out to try to deal some damage towards the Stalker. There are also Marauders and Marines joining in on that group. The Marauders do have that concussive shell, and now Todd in full retreat, realizing that he cannot hold on to the center portion of the map, and the center portion of the map pretty well controlled now with those Hellions, Marines, Marauders. But it is going to be a very, very long walk, so that long walk will take some time. And now Todd able to warp in some additional units, and the force field, if it was placed down in time, could have trapped those Hellions. And with those two Hellions down, the Zealots would have just been able to go to town on those Marauders and Marines. Hellions still wandering around on the far side of the map, trying to see what they can do. The robotics facility training up Immortals. So Todd training up a secret army of immortals instead of what I thought would be an observer first. And with these 3 immortals, they may simply be able to just walk up that ramp and deal a lot of damage. We have a reactor coming in from faculty, and we are now going into a starport and another barracks as this factory is flying out. But that factory will not reveal the tech at all. I do not believe faculty has any recent sight into this base. No, he does see 3 Stargate or 3 warp gates, but that is it. There's got to be a hidden tech somewhere. Faculty has to, or sorry, DieStar has to look for that. Empire DieStar has to look for what exactly is going on as we have this army of sentries and zealots moving out. There is no probe over here as a 3rd immortal now being trained. 1 stalker going to try to deal some damage over here. And do we have a sentry in time? Do we now have a sentry back in time? Going to most likely drop that force field as a factory is still continuing to fly around that map. 1 stalker, 1 sentry trying to be very, very careful. Hellions may just by pure luck, yes, by pure luck, may be able to reveal this. I'm not sure. Is he going to actually see this? Sees that there is now units warping in here. So yes, he does see that there is that proxy pylon. And now that Zealot and Stalkers are trying to fight back over here, the Zealot does not want to go toe-to-toe against some Hellions. That is not a smart move. And oh, there it goes. Finding that army, Todd should be able to take down many of those Hellions. The Hellions just stop to get destroyed. And DieStar now in trouble. DieStar now going for those bunkers. He realizes what a dangerous situation he is currently in. He needs to be able to fend off the attack. He doesn't have stim pack just quite yet. So those zealots and immortals should be able to just simply walk up this ramp and deal a lot of damage. Down goes multiple units. SCVs coming in. There's that guardian shield. And oh, enough marauders were there to fend off that attack. No observer nearby. And without an observer, really no way to try to fend this off. And there's that scanner sweep. And yeah, by Empire DieStar making sure that there is no observer in the air. If there was an observer, it would have been shot down in just a second. And Todd's surprise immortal army unable to walk up that ramp to deal any damage at all. Back over here, I believe that immortal is actually stuck. Is that immortal stuck? I'm not sure if you can actually walk in between that 2 path. Army-wise, you can see that Todd is in a better situation. 2350 compared to 1500. Also has better gas, and he is also establishing his nexus at the natural expansion. So a very late game expansion here. And now we have a medevac on the move. A medevac, 4 Marines, 2 Marauders. Will that Stalker gain sight of it? No, I do not believe so. It is just outside of sight range, and will be able to effectively execute a drop. Todd now getting that robotics bay, which is a pretty smart call, knowing that his opponent does not even have 1 factory yet, or a factory to build some siege tanks, and knowing that the Colossus with that range of 9 should be able to weaken up these bunkers before the rest of the units charge in. But then now the story will be the medevac moving out. There is a pylon that was trying to be warped in there. It will not be able to scout out this medevac in time, and the medevac may be able to get a lot of damage in just a moment. Drop play by Terran, so effective, especially when that medevac does heal. And now in comes the medevac here. It will be coming in. Observer now flying in as well, and this is going to be a problem. Probes now coming off the mineral line to try to fight back. Zealots also trying to run in. The Zealots are not going to be able to deal all too much damage, as they are now stuck behind probes. Multiple probes now getting taken down, and now, wow, Todd losing now down to 14 probes, and that is going to be a serious hit. And Zealot now trying to walk away. No Stalkers nearby, no units at all. The Immortals and the Stalkers will be forced to retreat home. There is a second command center by faculty, so the faculty will be, by DieStar. So DieStar should be able to establish this expansion in just a second, as 1 Marine and 1 Marauder enjoys their spoils of war after they've taken down multiple number of probes. We can see the Marines and the Marauders are now trying to take down this Nexus. Nexus will not get taken down, especially as some Zealots are already in position. Stalkers now coming in. Stalkers are just simply going for that medevac. Take down that last medevac down to 20 hit points. And wow, the medevac at 7 hit points, able to escape. Now we see 1 Marauder trying to fight back against an Immortal. We all know how that's going to end. The Immortal quickly destroying that 1 unit there, and now Colossi are being trained. Marines now using that stim pack, I assume trying to get away. The Marines could have a pretty easy time against that Immortal, able to just shoot it down. There you go, Immortal not even turning back to fight. And now 1 Marine down to 5 hit points, but that was it, as that Immortal wasn't even attacking for a large portion of that engagement. 2,400 mineral army compared to 2,850, and another drop coming into the base. Empire DieStar doing a great job of just keeping Todd on one base at this point while he establishes his own expansion and now transferred a bunch of SCVs over as well. So things are starting to look very good for DieStar. Todd unable to catch up to that medevac just hiding off in the corner. Two Immortals, a lot of Zealots and Sentries, and this game, which was going so well in favor for Todd, now looks to be going well for DieStar. DieStar now at 3,250 mineral army, and some gas army as well, but not nearly as high. But the economy shows a completely different story. In comes another drop over here. The Marauders, and now trying to finish off the rest of those Stalkers, will not be able to. And now in comes another drop of Marines and Marauders. So splitting up the drop on both sides, and now getting more damage. I believe that one medevac may get shot down. It is now down to 47 hit points, unable to catch up to it once again. Back here, the factory still blocking that third expansion, and now DieStar on the move with a very large army. We are just only 15.5 minutes into this game, and DieStar has a very respectable Marine Marauder army, but there are some Colossi, one Colossi by Todd, but no weapons upgrade. That robotics facility will simply just get shut down with ease there, as Todd going to lose this pylon, lose this robotics facility. He needs to get up another robotics facility in order to train up more Colossi, but things are not looking good for Todd at all. Todd needs to take up another expansion in order to pull off something. There are now Vikings in the air, and DieStar has the proper counter units to stop Todd. It's just going to be a matter of time, especially with the way that the macro portion of this game is going. Scanner sweep now revealing this, revealing the center map over here. Nothing being warped, nothing being trained over at this nexus, even though it is being chrono boosted. One factory will get taken down with relative ease. Stalkers are going to start destroying it as well. The factory lifted up into the air, but destroyed before it can do anything. Marines and Marauders with some medevacs and Vikings once again on the move. There is one observer. The observer does keep track of this army here, as the Vikings and medevacs trying to keep up with DieStar. DieStar does not have any weapons upgrades, so no engineering bay. And that's quite a surprise. No engineering bay, but opting to go for a Ghost Academy. We are going to be seeing some ghosts now, so ghosts to round out and hopefully try to defeat the High Templar, but there are no High Templar in this army at all. Ghost will be able to deplete the shields on Immortals, as we now have a planetary fortress placed down by DieStar. So DieStar in a very, very nice situation already. We can see that there is one medevac over here. The medevac could just drop those 2 units and try to continue to put even more pressure. This planetary fortress will give DieStar a significant economic advantage if he didn't already have one, as he will be able to call down mules. Those mules will be able to effectively mine. And now Todd, who still has some minerals left in his main base, needs to figure out what his third base strategy will be. Engineering bay finally getting the level 1 infantry upgrades. We are getting also the Mobius reactor. So Mobius reactor allowing those ghosts to come out and have enough energy for an EMP shockwave. Vikings and Marauders still being trained up, and I believe DieStar is just simply waiting until he has a 200 food army before he pushes out. The extended thermal lance range on those Colossus will help out significantly, but there's only 2 Colossi right now. A third Colossus is now being trained, so with 3 Colossi, he may be able to at least soften up the rest of the army, but with Zealots do not have charge, Stalkers do not have blink, and now that the level 1 weapons upgrade will be completed, in addition to Ghosts being trained for some EMP shockwaves, Immortals are not going to be able to counter that army at all. Marine coming into that low ground expansion, the third expansion by Todd, but I believe that expansion will simply get shut down, and the Marine was able to take down a probe while an army of Colossi and Phoenixes just watched in enjoyment, I guess. Planetary Fortress now going to make this location much more easy to defend. We can see that there is a reactor on that starport, double training Vikings, double training medevacs, just mass infantry coming in from DieStar. Level 1 weapons upgrade nearing completion, level 1 weapons upgrade for the Protoss ground armor also being researched. So if this research does complete in time, it will make the Colossi much more effective and weaken them considerably. We can now see a fleet of Vikings in the air though, 12 Vikings should be able to two-shot many of those units. There are some Phoenixes in the air to try to absorb some of that damage, but as long as DieStar keeps track of his army and tries to micro those units, it is going to be a completely different game. And oh, one Colossus simply just shut down before anything really happened. Colossi now in the back. Sentries do have that Guardian shield. Vikings now in the air. Vikings going to be able to rip through those Colossi, and there we go. I believe that is going to be game. The army of Vikings should and could just land to finish off the rest of this, but Todd says GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Todd and Empire DieStar here in the Xel'Naga Caverns.